Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to my biology instructor Dr. Nadiatul Hafizah Hassan, my fellow Kuliah 11 friends and maybe YouTube viewers. So today, my friends and me, which is you guys already see in the intro, will be explaining to you a small subtopic in you guys can refer to the Mother Biology textbook in chapter 23.2, Evolution of Bryophytes, Colonization of Land. So in this short interactive video, you guys should be able to master these three knowledge. So in the first one, you guys can list the traits that classify as a plant a bryophytes. Secondly, compare the three groups of bryophytes. Okay, I will explain the three groups later. Let me finish this learning outcomes. So the third one, identify the key structures and stages in the life cycle of a mouse. So let's straight back to the three groups of bryophytes. So in our small chapter here, in this world we have three bryophytes, which is liveworts, hornworts, and mosses. So mosses, you guys must be a very popular word, which is lumut in Malay. So let's go to English. These three bryophytes were the first plant to colonize land. So in these three bryophytes, we'll be explaining to all of my friends, including me. So the first one will be the liveworts, which will be explained by Ana Nazura. Secondly, the hornworts will be explained by Hafiza, and Moses will be explained by myself. So have a good focus, and yeah, that's all for me. Let's go straight to them. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Nazura and I would like to explain a little bit about liverworts. Before I start, have you ever questioned yourself about liverworts? What kind of plant it is and how do they survive in this world? Well, this video will give you the answer of your question.
Liverworts are divided into two groups, which is thallus liverworts with flattened body known as thallus and leafy liverworts, which superficially resembles mosses. Majority of liverworts species are the leafy types. Liverworts are in genus Marsantia, which have thin thallus, 30 cells thick in the center, and each branch lobe is approximately a centimeter in length. The upper surface of liverworts have diamond-shaped segments with small pore, while the lower surface have numerous hair-like extensions called rhizoids. The function of rhizoids is to project into the soil and anchors and assist in the absorption of water. Marsantia species reproduce both asexually and sexually. First, I will explain about asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, germane cups on the upper surface on the thallus contain germane, and then groups of cells will detach from the thallus, and then finally they will start a new plant. In this picture, you will see the position of germ cup here, thallus, and rhizoids. Next, the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction depends on this headstock that bear antheridia, while umbrella headstock that bear archegonia. Sexual reproduction will occur when fertilization, and then tiny sporophytes will grow and compose a food. Next, a short stalk and capsule will grow, and the capsule will begin growing within archegonia. Finally, wind-blown spores are produced within the capsule.
That's all for liverworts. I hope my explanation gives you a wide view about liverworts. I would like to pass to the next member, Hafiza, to explain about hornworts.
Okay, now we are moving on hornworts. Hornworts is called hornworts because of the elongated horn-like structure, which is the sporophytes, and the flattened green body of a hornworts is the gametophytes. As you can see here, this is the sporophytes and this is the gametophytes. They tend to grow only in places that are damp and humid. Some species of hornworts live on trees, but most of them live in moist and well-shaded areas. Hornwort can bypass by alteration of generations by reproducing asexually through fragmentation. So hornworts is divided to two parts, which is sporophytes and gametophytes. Okay, gametophytes grow as a thin rosette or ribbon like thallus between 1 and 5 cm in diameter. Each cell of thallus usually contains just one chloroplast. Gametophytes do photosynthesize and have a symbiotic relationship with cyanobacteria. Gametophytes too can fix nitrogen from the air. Next is sporophytes. Sporophytes resembles the tiny green horns rising from the thin gametophytes, usually less than 2 cm in diameter. Sporophyte has only one chloroplast per cell and do photosynthesize. Sporophytes have true stomata on their sporophytes. Sporophytes occur meiosis and release spores. That's all about hornwort.
So you guys already gone through two of the bryophytes, which is liveworts and hornworts. So this will be the last part of our bryophytes in the world, which is mosses. So mosses, like I say in Malay, is lumut. So you guys are already familiar with the word lumut. So mosses are the largest group of non-vascular plants with over 1,500 species. So when we say a lot of species, they are actually divided by three groups, which is peat mosses, granite mosses, and true mosses. Although some prefer damp location in temperate zone, but some survive in deserts and other inhabitant bogs and stream. In forests, they frequently form a green mat, which you guys, when you guys doing hiking, going into the jungle, going to the forest, you can see there's a part of the forest where all of the logs that have been, tumbled down, covered by green mats, which is, that's the mosses. So in dry environments, they become shriveled and turn brown and look almost like completely dead. But once it rains, the environment become wet, it will turn green, then it will resume their metabolic activity. Okay, so let's look at one of the members of the moss genus Sphagnum, which is peat moss, one of the group that I mentioned earlier, the three groups. So this in Sphagnum is peat moss, have a great commercial and ecological importance to humans. So when we say humans, it benefits to us, right? So the cell wall of peat moss have a tremendous ability to absorb water. So when we say absorb water, is why humans use it for the gardening to improve water holding structure, water holding capacity of the soil, and why it was used historically as wound dressing on the battlefield. 1% of the surface is peatlands, where dead sphagnum accumulates but does not decay. So when we talk about mosses, I guess you guys are already familiar about mosses you see in your environments. So let me explain a little bit so you guys have, good knowledge about mosses. So mosses, they produce spores for reproduction instead of seeds like you guys other plants, and don't grow flowers, wood, or true roots. They just do green mats like I say. They just form a mat in the forest. All species of moss have rhizoids. The mosses sit within a division of plants called the bryophyte under the subdivision musci. Okay, so you guys already learned 3 of different bryophytes. So let's go to our last learning outcomes of this subtopic, which is to learn about the life cycle of moss. So you guys can see figures on the right describes the life cycle of a typical temperate zone moss. The gametophyte of mosses begins as an algae-like branching filament of cells, the protonema. So the protonema will precede and produce upright leafy shoots that sprouts rhizoids. You guys see in the bottom left of the picture, the rhizoids. The shoots bear either enteridia or archigonia. Just refer to the picture if you guys didn't catch the words. So the dependent subsporophytes consist of a fruit which is enclosed in female gametophyte tissue, a stalk. So when you hear stalk, which is the female part, when you hear stalk, and an upper capsule which contains sporangium where spores are produced. A moss sporophyte is always attached to the gametophyte. At first, the sporophyte is green and photosynthetic at maturity. It is brown and non-photosynthetic. In some species, the sporangium can produce as many as 50 million spores. The spores disperse the new gametophytes to produce generation. So let me wrap up with a good words from the knowledge of moss life cycle. So the majority of moss life spend in the haploid state, which is N, haploid. So haploid state is actually the mature gametophyte you guys see in the figure on the left, bottom left. You guys already see has grown a leaf, has rhizoids. So most of the moss spend their life in that part, haploid part. Then the sporophytes 2N is non-photosynthetic at maturity and produce spores. The leaf-like gametophyte N is photosynthetic and produce the sperm and egg. The sperm requires water to swim to the egg. This life cycle is from a species of Polytrichum. So thank you very much to all of my friends, including me, for explaining bryophytes in our subtopic of evolution of bryophytes, colonizations of land. So let me, in a nutshell, we should appreciate bryophytes because bryophytes contributes to the lush beauty of forests. They can convert mountain rocks to soil, hold moistures and metals, and resist desiccation. Scientists working in genetic engineering are interested in bryophytes' ability to resist chemical reagents, decay, and herbivory. The idea is that these traits could be transferred to other plants. So we just hope for scientists to discover the new things, and so we can appreciate all of that. So with that in mind, I hope you guys understand this topic. Any questions maybe you guys want to ask, you can ask in the Q&A section. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.